it across the PMGC from DRS, but if there's a day to do, if there's time to do it, it is now. I liked where they dropped. It was kind of on that Lipovka area because of that plane path that was a little bit more up towards the kind of southern side. So they kind of stopped there. Now they sent 3 of the players up towards Yasnaya. It made sense. They got early looting and they picked up an early kill.
Two teams who had very different entries to the finals here of the East League. Like, you're talking about BTR, you're talking about Genesis Dogma. Genesis Dogma, honestly, if you'd asked me 3 days prior, like, hey, you know, do you think Genesis Dogma are going to make it to the grand finals? I would have said yes, 100%, because it looks so good during the Super Weekends. But right now, 14th place, 50 points, they were looking so fantastic. And then you look at BTR, who, like, till the very last couple of days of the 3rd Super Weekend, we were still questioning, are BTR going to make it? You know, we were lumping them alongside the side of FaZe Clan, who didn't unfortunately make it. But BTR, they had a little bit of a resurgence, so to speak. But it feels like they've kind of run out of gas in the Super Weekend itself. Right now, 16th position on just a measly 39 points. And I gotta say, it's not impossible, but it is highly improbable they're going to be cracking the top 9.
It is simply because they haven't really shown it in the final so far, and they rarely showed it across the PMGC. It was that last Super Weekend which we saw lights of like sparkles of strength from the BTR side, but their weaknesses, their mistakes in the finals haven't really been connected so much to the strengths they did show in the final Super Weekend. Their rotations have been poor. They've made silly kind of tier 2, tier 3 level mistakes where they allowed Nova to get ahead of them and they got absolutely wiped by Nova. They've went brazenly into the circle at times. They've just had some odd decision making, and I don't know why, how, who, what, or where exactly in terms of why they're doing these things, but they just need to forget about the last 2 days. They're consummate professionals. They've been around the PubG Mobile game as players, as a team, for at least 2 years. They know what they need to do, and they have to have belief and trust in themselves, and those performances hopefully will show. Talking about this phase 1 though, it is on the eastern side, kind of complemented the playing path. We see some early movement from the likes of Genesis Dogma away from Milta, BTR as well, away from Farm Area. Down One Gaming going for a pretty early rotation to create that kind of line right in the center. You can see Luxy getting a knock onto Booms. Other than that, nobody else is really harshly towards the center. The Xavier around the prison region. You have 6 to 8 now heading up at Potato Hill. There's a lot of opening areas for teams to rotate throughout this phase 1.
Yeah, Starwood Esports, I'm keeping an eye on them. They're having a very, very comfortable time crossing the Nova Bridge and heading towards Milta. And then, of course, you have Reject, who've moved in a little bit earlier. And again, Infinity, the timing is just so pristine. The way they're able to seemingly every single time just thread the needle and cross on over towards the Ferry Pier Bridge. The one time they got caught with their pants down was by 6 to 8, I think a couple of weeks back. I think it was week 2 or week 1. But apart from that, they have looked incredible, impeccable, I might even say. Although thus far, 6th position, 107 points. They could still have that pop-off day. As Adesk alluded to, they've never really had a bad day apart from the beginning, the very beginning of the entire tournament. Of course, 2 teams I want to keep an eye out. Like, just this battle for the top place, right? Down One Gaming, what an incredible couple of days they had. The South Koreans, they have come in all guns blazing, looking to claim the title of being the kings of the East. But then Nova, it's just been a gradual rise. So for Down One Gaming, it's almost like, if you look at the rise, it's almost like a straight up vertical line.
Yes.
But for Nova, it's been like a nice exponential curve upwards, where we were questioning, are they going to even make it to the finals? And here they are, 2nd position, 144 points.
And coming into yesterday's games, I wanted to allude to it, but kind of Down One have already kind of spoken in game what I was going to say verbally, and that was, you know, there's no such thing as like Chinese domination, because I'm sure a lot of people, when they looked at the leaderboard at the start of yesterday and saw Nova on top, thought, oh, okay, Chinese domination, because that tends to be the thing. Clearly, it's not the case. Look at Down One Game and look at what they've done. Look at the Xavier, right? In the performances they've had, they're only 9 points behind Nova, and then you counter in the might of Mongolia in the arms of Stalwart, their very first big global tournament, and they're close by. We see already Jimmy getting knocked down. Man, Nova, they may be close to the top. They can't start off like that, losing a player right off the bat.
Yeah, it's just gonna be so very close between Damwon and Nova, and as you pointed out, you're losing a player early on could be problematic. And looking at the way Paraboy and Order are repositioning themselves, okay, they're looking to take the fight. I like this from Nova. I like this challenge on towards MS Chonburi team right now in the 15th position. So for them to even just have a snowflake's chance in hell of making it to the top 9, they need to have some monstrous games here today. And the first challenge, if they can manage to hold their own. Oh, Ponzai lines it up, he whiffs it. That's a shot you need to land, Ponzai. And it just goes whistling past to Paraboy's ear. Smokes are getting deployed as well, and the res might just take place. And MS Chonburi, they seem to be a little wary of committing to this fight.
And honestly, I kind of agree with that. I'd nearly say they should fully disengage. I don't mind them not pushing this fight in a major way as Jimmy gets knocked once again. QCI goes down. They lose 2 for the price of 1.
That is the way MS Chonburi want things to go. That looked like Nova were going to pull off the great escape. But now MS Chonburi, now they should go for the play. Now should go in for the hit. Now should go in for the squad wipe. And Ponzai continuing to tickle away at the HP of Order. Order and Paraboy. We know how capable they are.
Don't go on your own, Jasper. Don't go on your own. Okay. You're not full sending it. Yeah, I'm glad he's stopping by the dip. Yeah.
Yeah, and they have the trap. It doesn't look like there's any escape route for Nova. So right now it's about trying to defend his fortress. And I like that MS Chonburi aren't getting too gung-ho. We saw a few teams kind of fail because of that yesterday. But if they take too long, another team could come in and third party and ruin their day.
There is a potential indeed of a third party from 6 to 8. Now, that's more towards MS Chonburi the longer they leave this fight, because at the end of the day, Nova's 2 players do have the protection of 4 walls outside of the windows. Whereas the MS Chonburi guys, they're out in the open. They have a 3-1 split. And they could get surprised if they leave it a little too late. Into the vehicle they go. The push comes through.
Lovely driving there, avoiding the preemptive nades being lobbed in by Nova. Nade sails in, Order should fall here, right? He should fall here. No, he's going to patch himself up. Meanwhile, Paraboy duking it out amidst the smoke. 1 player remains for Nova, and his days seem very numbered. They come pre-firing around the corner, and MS Chonburi, sure, they took a while. Sure, it looked a little worrisome at certain points, but they do a very good job of neutralizing the threat of the Chinese side. Cryptics, though, they're aware of what's just transpired there, and they're going to use that opportunity. But hold on, they're going to be exchanging blows with oh yeah, never mind. It's the 1 player of MS Chonburi out in the distance providing eyes, and because of that, Cryptics are like, you know what, maybe not really worth going for this fight.
This fight kind of took long enough that we transitioned from phase 2 to phase 3, shifted up towards the northeast. The king of the hill, the Lion King compound, is held onto by Rico. Mansion is open. There's a lot of flat terrain though between kind of Mansion and Prison that teams will need to be aware of. You do have the museum area, which I believe is held onto now by DRS. That's a really good split that DRS have. Now BTR, they're going wild into the circle. Going up against Genesis Dogman. This is very tricky up the Lumberyard Hill.
The 2 teams at the tippity top. I won't say they're struggling. You know, I mean, Nova obviously struggled a little bit there. They got a complete eliminated, but Damwon Gaming losing a player as well. Sung's going to be knocked down and finished off at the same time. Damwon Gaming, they are bleeding. And if I am the Xavier right now, I'm like, yeah, boy. Yeah, keep going. Keep going.
Die, my pretties, die. Give us all the points.
Die, my darling. Nigma Galaxy, in the meantime, might be going up against their MENA counterparts. And we've seen this so many times, so Enigma against Cryptics. And I'm just going to pull a number out of my butt. But I feel like Enigma's always seem to have Cryptics' number, majority of the time.
Well, to be fair, I'm not saying it's every single game, but kind of the points speak for themselves. I have to give credit to Cryptics. Hell of a day yesterday overall, comparative to their day 1, 37 points compared to 15. So they show they can do it. But yeah, compared to Enigma, who've risen up time and time again and have proven their worth, between those two teams, it has for the most part been Enigma coming out on top. But Cryptics have a good position, and it's not really a position that Enigma can massively push on unless they get, I would argue, 2 knocks. 1 knock doesn't secure a push from where Enigma are because it's so flat. You're going to get bombarded by shots if you go in vehicles, right? So right now, they're probably going to both coexist until Phase 4 pops off. Infinity going up on towards the very tippity top of the prison hill slash lumberyard hill. It's down on the edge of play, knowing behind them is secure. They can focus fully in front of them.
I feel like Infinity basically play like the old DRS, except better, you know? Taking his sweet time, not really taking too many fights, as you pointed out, playing at the edge of the circle, moving in slow. Just ruin everyone's days. I do spot Reject, who somehow, even though they start off, and I do believe they were towards Ferry Pier, they're right on the eastern side of prison, which is an insane rotation, having somehow avoided any skirmishes.
It's a bold rotation as well, because the plane was kind of down south towards Milta Power, and even though the circles haven't like stayed towards there, they're taking a risk because they're presuming that the south edge of Lumberyard and Prison Hill is free, and it was. So fair play, good call. It's worked out for them, and they even to an extent have a little bit of a free path line into the eastern edge of the circle, albeit it's not massively secure.
Oh man, this is just a look at the amount of teams and players making their way into the zone from the southern side from Shelter. And because of that, a number of bodies are gonna fall. They're gonna hit the floor. Genesis Dogma caught out in the open. They're at least able to trade. And 628, unfortunately, are getting third party by Enigma Galaxy from the distance. The 628, the Chinese side, they're struggling a bit here. If it was a one-on-one fight between them and Genesis Dogma, it might have panned out. Meanwhile, MS Seanbury going up against the might of DRS, but DRS are getting annihilated. Mafia Ninja has everything to do, and in a blink it and you miss it. MS Seanbury just wipe out DRS, not even taking a single like death. That's insane. Two team wipes already.
I respect as Genesis Dogma go out as well. I have so many things to talk about with regards to that, but I gotta give credit to DRS for going for that push onto the compound. Maybe they could have scouted a little bit more. It doesn't look like they did. But MS Chambori, defenders of the compound, the kings of the compound, it's still inside the circle. Let's go, MS Chambori. Is this gonna be their day? Are they gonna make their way into the grand finals? Man, I'm here for it if that happens. But Genesis Dogma 6-8. When you have this kind of circle shift and there's open fields pretty much all on that south side, going for straight quick rotation on that circle shift is 9 times out of 10 a bad idea. It doesn't matter how many vehicles you have, because everybody behind you and who's already in front of you solidified in the circle has free shots on you. There's nobody else really distracting them. And that's what happened to both 628 and Genesis Dogma. Kind of silly play, to be honest, from them.
Well, I mean, they do get punished for it, right? And
exactly.
Man, listen, if MS Seanbury can have that day where they claw their way from the 15th position right now in the overall standings and they make it the top 9, I'm just gonna be blown away. It's gonna be a hell of a fairy tale run coming in from the side. MS Seanbury, or I think they're 14th position, I beg your pardon. I'm not too sure where they stand right now. But yeah, 8 eliminations, all 4 still alive. They still have control of the little compound of theirs. They're still tickling away at the 2 not members of the Xavier. And I gotta say, it's not looking very likely that a res could potentially take place, because Rico Infinity are going to be joining the fray, and they could completely ruin the Xavier's attempts to go for this revive.
What I find interesting about Rico Infinity is they are not playing Fidan. They have their sub YWZ3, and that's the first time I believe he's playing. I hope, obviously, I hope Fidan is okay. I don't know why they would make this change so late into the tournament. You know, again, I just hope it's okay. Either way, they need to trust in their decision. Just something I observed, and indeed the Xavier under a hell of a lot of pressure. 4 rivals going up against Infinity. Mela gets the opening knock.
for Rivals, a team who have a lot of work ahead of them. Almost like climbing Mount Doom at this point in time. Not going to be easy. Mela, low on health, but very brave. Just going to be lobbing in the nades. Just shy of getting the kill confirmation. He's going to be lobbing in a couple more, and finally he's going to patch himself up. He's just going to be trying to keep those two members at the edge, because the zone's going to be shrinking on, and it's going to try and make their life miserable. If you look at the remaining members of Infinity, the rest of them are well entrenched inside of the zone. MS Seanbury now trying to go for the rotation. They're going to skirt on around, but it could get very risky. They could be facing off against multiple teams. They could easily get third parties. D. Xavier going to unload onto MS Seanbury, and I do believe they have lost Ponzai.
Cryptics, you need to start making some noise. You have a divot, but you can't allow teams to get around you, because if the circle shits away and you need to move out of that divot, you're going to have Reject, you're going to have Team Seeker, you're going to have Infinity. Why are you prone down in that dip? Make some noise. Say, hey, we're here, and get some opening knocks. I know the risk is that you alert people to your position, but in my eyes, the benefit will be
want to see a little bit more. Cryptics were a little bit on the lower side.
Thank you, Jason. Interesting picks coming in from both Max and James, and they really seem to feel that the Chinese teams are just better on this particular map of Sandhawk. Jason, obviously. Continues to be the most biased caster in PubG Mobile history, just going for an Infinity. Why does he do this? I don't know.
It's an okay shout going for Infinity, at least so far in the finals. They have a 6.7 points per game average in Sandhawk. But I think people are sleeping on Damwon. 3 per Sandhawk game, and yet they're not picked. Okay, Nova are close behind in 14.7, and Stalwart on the side note are 13.7. But yeah, people sleeping on Damwon.
Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna sleep on Damwon. I feel our South Korean friends can definitely claim the chicken dinner here. So instead, I'm just gonna flip it a little bit this time around, Imperium. I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna go with Damwon Gaming. I believe in your numbers, and numbers rarely lie. Are you going to be siding with me as well, or are you going to go with something a little bit more Mongolian? Because we know what Stalwart can do on Sandhawk.
I'm going to go for Stalwart. Just it means I kind of.
You don't even believe in yourself. Covered. What is this?
Whoa, 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 whoa! It's not that I don't believe in myself, but I recognize that Stalwart are off the back of a 33-point game. That momentum, that confidence, going into another map that they're strong.
I agree. I feel MSG is very villainized in the Western world. Western cuisine. Teasing. What's wrong with you? Asian food is just best.
C had a good game in game 1. See what they did there with transition.
Yeah, I can't believe
I'm kind of proud of that. I'm kind of proud of that. They had a good game yesterday. 4 rivals, Cryptics, Rigo Infinity. So as much as it was a strong 9-point game, that barrier, that cushion becomes a little bit further away for them. It was helped that the likes of DRS and Team Secret had bad results, but you know, if other teams ahead of you are getting stronger.
Thank you, Jason. Interesting picks coming in from both Max and James, and they really seem to feel that the Chinese teams are just better on this particular map of Sandhawk. Jason obviously continues to be the most biased caster in PubG.
It's an okay shout going for Infinity, at least so far in the finals. They have a 6.7 points per game average in Sandhawk. But I think people are sleeping on Damwon. They currently have the highest point average in Sandhawk, 17.3 per Sandhawk game, and yet they're not picked. Okay, Nova are close behind in 14.7, and Stalwart on a side note are 13.7. But yeah, people sleeping on that one.
Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna sleep on that one. I feel our South Korean friends can definitely claim the chicken dinner here. So instead, I'm just gonna flip it a little bit this time around, Imperium. I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna go with Damwon Gaming. I believe in your numbers, and numbers rarely lie. Are you gonna be siding with me as well, or are you gonna go with something a little bit more Mongolian? Because we
Yeah.
know what Stalwart can do on Sandhawk.
I'm gonna go for Stalwart. Just it means I kind
You
of.
don't even believe in yourself. What is this?
Whoa, 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 whoa! It's not that I don't believe in myself, but I recognize that Stalwart are off the back of a 33-point game. That momentum, that confidence going into another map that they're strong in. That's a recipe for success, right? That's like adding MSG to a meal. It just automatically makes it tastier.
Okay. I agree. I feel MSG is very villainized in the Western world, Western cuisine. And I'm like, listen, guys, it's amazing. What's wrong with you? Asian food is just better than everything else. I'll just say it out there. I'm biased.
And much like MSG, MSC had a good game in game one. See what I did there with transition?
Yeah, I can't believe
I'm kind of proud of that. I'm kind of proud of that. They had a good game yesterday, but the unfortunate thing for them is that teams who were ahead of them coming into today's games did better. 4 rivals, Cryptics, Rigo Infinity. So as much as it was a strong 9-point game, that barrier, that cushion becomes a little bit further away for them. It was helped that the likes of DRS and Team Secret had bad results, but you know, if other teams ahead of you are getting stronger results, it does continue to make it harder. So I'm hoping that they can sprinkle a little bit of that MSC magic and get a successful game in this Sandhawk one.
I have a question for you, right? As we continue with the day, right? Once we enter game 4, game 5. Oh, I like that, Zuck. See, look at that. Great style points there. Unfortunately, not able to get the points in the server right now, RBTR. And coming to that, let's assume you're one of the teams at the very bottom, right? Like the bottom 3. Okay. And your chances of making it to the top 9, it's not even minuscule. It's virtually non-existent. Like you'd need like a 50-point game to qualify, which is just unreasonable to ask. Would you just continue playing a game, or would you just say, screw it, I'm just gonna mess with a few of these teams and just go for some hot drops and try and ruin someone's day?
That's a really good question.
I'd do it. 100%.
If it means your regional counterpart has a chance of qualifying, yes, I would. You know, there's it's a hot topic to entrench. When you've got nothing to lose, you can be quite dangerous. If that means hot dropping, if that means having a major game and taking points away from teams that kind of need it a little bit more heavily, yeah. I don't think we're going to get that in the last day of these finals. I feel like every team is just kind of locked in on just trying their best every single game and playing their normal game. But I would like to see that little bit of drama, that little bit of spiciness in the final couple of games, because it would add a lot of weight to what is competitive PubG Mobile. It's a good question to ask.
We're going to be finding out if that's going to be the case. And I really do hope to see that BTR hopping and skipping. They come into Rico Infinity's stomping grounds, completely unaware where Zuxi and Luxy and a member down already in Rico Infinity. They already taste the blood. Nade's going to be sailing in from Prestigo. Fortunately for Luxy, he did manage to reposition himself. But now Rico Infinity, they know where BTR are, and they should be going in for the wrap, or maybe not. They're taking this one slow. They have so much to lose, both these two teams.
Time and time again, BTR have made these mistakes. Time and time again in the finals. Unprecedented. I've never seen them make a consistent amount of the same mistakes. You know Rigo drop here. You know that. And if Rigo had looked at the VOD from yesterday's, they would have seen that you guys drop on that kind of coastline. So therefore, technically, there's a team to hold on to, right? There's a team to wait for, and you walked right into their trap, hook, line, sinkered. Take care, then bye now. Like, you couldn't ask for, kind of, with all due respect, easier kills onto BTR right now.
Duxie could try and at least get some. Oh, they're getting bullied.
Yeah.
BTR are just getting absolutely slapped around like a little kid, from kindergarten, and just wound up in a bullies, a football field, a high school kid just beating them down. These are free kills. You said it.
Yeah.
These are free eliminations, free points coming in. Bristigo, yeah, sure, the knock does take place. Doesn't really matter. There's no trade. Rez going to be coming in for Rico Infinity. They have all 4 alive, and BTR, they're just gifting points. It's like, a care package, and it's just down to who finds it in the server, and you get free 4 points, and it's sad.
It's sad.
It's depressing, because I want them to perform, and right now, speaking of unaware, Cryptics are so unaware as to where Booms is, and Boom will strike. He's going to find Senkai, and the rest of his teammates as well. There's one right behind him, and I like this from Booms. He's not being too okay, he dodges the fucking lazy boy trying to run him over.
No, don't get baited.
One is getting shot at as well. Somehow he survives, and this is a very interesting fight here between Genesis Dogma and Cryptic. Satar from the distance trying to be a problem, but what a spray, a laser beam from Marshall, but he will be knocked back down to his feet by Booms and quickly finished off. Cryptics, they are not in a comfortable spot at the moment.
Perfect.
Another knock comes in from Booms. Clinical shots.
Oh, off the back of a solid 13-point game. In the previous one, Cryptics are not looking the best. They're down to just Lazy Boy.
Lazy Boy, Senkai still alive, though he can try and get the res while all of them are hyper-focused. Lazy Boy able to get a knock in return. Senkai now up on his feet, the last man standing, and he's gonna find 2 knocks, 1v1. Nice little versus Senkai.
He does it!
Senkai clutches it for his team. Incredible from Cryptics, and he even has time to go for the res. Genesis Dogma, they have dropped the ball, Imperium. They had that squad wipe.
Oh my god. Talk about never giving up. That was fantastic turnaround by Cryptics. It ideally shouldn't have happened, but the one thing that made it easier, and this was probably the biggest mistake that Genesis Dogma made, is that Satar got knocked. He was the backline player. He was the one that was kind of putting the kind of long end pressure on. Arguably, he probably shouldn't have been so far away. However, at the end of the day, he was there. He could have made a difference. The second he got knocked by Marshall, that made it just a little bit easier for Cryptics to get back into, because it became a lot more of a close quarter combat fight. There wasn't that off angle to put suppressing fire onto Cryptics. But either way, that clinical 1 health left from Senkai, that could be the reason why. I know Cryptics have a long way to go, but that could be the reason they make it, or if they don't. However,
they might not.
Yeah,
they're not making it.
Yeah.
They're not making it. I like the way you set it up there. You did a great job, but Nova, they like hyenas in a savannah. They smell the blood. I wonder what's going on there, Cryptics. Despite the heroics of Senkai, it's not looking good. Nova looking to redeem themselves after what was an abysmal first game. 0 points for them, 0 points for Damn One as well. So they're looking to definitely redeem themselves here. And they know there's a player nearby. They know it was an instant wipe, and they're looking for him.
Is it worth them looking for so long, though? They do lose a couple of core positions inside this phase 2. Has shifted down to southeast. This is probably the most southeast circle we've had in these Sandhawk games, I would argue, across the whole of PMGC. It could shift, of course, in phase 3 back up to the northwest, but with Kampong heavily in play, even the edge of docks, you have Quarry right in the dead center. This is a tricky circle to maneuver around. There are a lot of kind of peaky hill areas that you're able to control. That's why I think Nova should maybe look to anyway loot up Painan and the compounds around Painan and pick up a few heals. He could pull off a bit of a heal strat, but I can't argue. I can't see him getting any more than an extra 3 to 4 points from this one.
Well, Chapo is basically just lying, just completely prone, just holding his breath, hoping Nova don't hear him. But if you're Nova, though, right? Like you said, you know, how long do you stick around?
Yeah.
At least one thing they're not doing is when we saw a couple of teams do this yesterday and even the day before, where they're just like a 1v3 or something, and they just go in willy-nilly, just one player just running in and giving those 1v1 duels, allowing their opponent to potentially pull off the clutch. At least that's something Nova aren't doing. So kudos to them for that. Looking at the circle, though, second one, it's, you know, 20%, about 20%, 25% of the zone still in the water, which is something you rarely get to see in on Sandhawk. Could make things potentially interesting if it does start to, if the third one starts to form towards, let's say, Camp On.
Exactly. And this phase 2 shift was really good for the likes of DRS and Team Secret, but they do have to think about the likes of 4 rivals, and that direct eastern coastline is by no means safe. So I'm a little bit more worried about Team Secret because they have a bit of a 2-2 split. However, that 2-2 split is allowing them to get a lot of information directly on that eastern coastline where 4 rivals stand. Jumper, Fredo especially, with ice shots and Kid a little bit deeper into the center of the circle. The Xavier on that northern tip of Quarry, Reject down on the southeastern side, Stillwater on that kind of northwest hillside. A fantastic place to be if you're 6-2-8. A lovely spread, good control. Phase 3 is about to pop up. It shifts over to the east. This becomes a little bit spicier.
I like spice. I love spice, and yeah, that zone, man, I love it. Got a little bit of water.
It's good.
Yeah, right. And you got this little huts on the stilts on the beach as well. Infinity coming in from the northern side as usual, coming a little bit late. You know, always aware about their surroundings. Pop on a tuk-tuk. You know what? I'd pay money for Pop to drive me around in a tuk-tuk. Have you ever been in a tuk-tuk?
No. When I was in India in 2019, I never got the opportunity just because the event, it was just kind of mainly there to do the event. Yeah, haven't had the opportunity to go into it, but I'd love to.
That was in New Delhi, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I would advise you not to take a tuk-tuk in New Delhi.
Okay.
I've been there, and hey, listen, I was like, I don't even have my life insurance on me.
So
anyway,
basically, you're inviting me to where you live, and you're going to take me around in a tuk-tuk?
I'll take you around. You know, Van was a nice place. The traffic's so bad, you barely move, so there's no risk of actually getting into an accident. As Infinity going up against Rico Infinity, the 2 Infinities, and Rico Infinity able to get the first knock and the finish on towards their namesake, so to speak. Newsy with a nice nade, a little too deep though.